Good day everyone, I am Kate Bullozo and I am here to discuss about my report. It is all about punctuation. Now let us discuss what is punctuation. Punctuation, or sometimes called interpunction, is the use of spacing, conventional signs called punctuation marks, and certain typographical devices. Punctuation marks is aid to the understanding and correct reading of a written text. Whether read silently or aloud, it is the system of signs or symbols given to the reader to show how a sentence is constructed and how it should be read, and it makes the meaning of a written text more clear. Punctuation is the process of using recognized symbols and protocols to turn a collection of words into a logical, structured piece of writing to be read and understood by a universal audience. The marks and symbols indicate the structure and organization of written language, as well as intonation and pauses to be observed when reading aloud. Every sentence should include at least a capital letter at the start and a full stop, exclamation mark or question mark at the end. This basic system indicates that the sentence is complete. In written English, punctuation is vital to disambiguate the meaning of sentences. Now, let us move on to the next part of my report, which is the basic signs of punctuation and their use. There are approximately 14 different marks or signs that are used in this manner in English, and here are the basic signs. Comma, it is used to show a slight pause. It is used to group words that belong together and to separate those that do not. The comma is useful in a sentence when the writer wishes to pause before proceeding, add a phrase that does not contain any new subject, or separate items on a list, use more than one adjective describing a word like beautiful. Full stop, or what we call most of the time as period, is a mark that indicates the end of a sentence or abbreviation to separate sentences. A full stop should always be used to end a sentence. The full stop indicates that a point has been made and that you are about to move on to further explanation or related point. Exclamation mark is an expression of feeling of surprise, wonder, or other sudden, unexpected feelings. An exclamation mark indicates strong feeling within a sentence, such as fear, anger, or love. It is also used to accentuate feeling within the written spoken word. Example, stop, look. Question mark. Question mark is used to indicate a direct question when placed at the end of a sentence. For example, why, what, when, where, and how. Semicolon to complete a sentence. The mark of semicolon is used. It is used to separate a compound sentence transition and items of a series. The semicolon is perhaps the most difficult sign of punctuation to use accurately. For example, there was an earthquake, however no loss of life. Colon. This punctuation indicates a closing of a sentence. It is used to separate sentences like units within a sentence or before a list. The colon within a sentence makes a very pointed pause between two phrases. There are two main uses of colon. It is commonly used when listing. For example, she placed the following items into the trolley: beer, fruit, vegetable, toilet rolls, cereals, and cartons of milk. Or it can be used within a heading or descriptive title. For example, Human Resource Management, Guidelines for Telephone Advisors, Apostrophe. An apostrophe is used to indicate the omission of letter or letters from a word. The apostrophe indicates possession or ownership. Quotation mark or speech marks. Quotation or speech marks are used to mark out speech when quoting. When quoting someone else's speech, for example, my grandpa said, "Share your chocolates with your friends." Another example, "George, don't do that." Hyphen. The hyphen is used to link words together. For example, subpart, 18th century, people weekend, second class post, gender neutral, non-verbal. The hyphen is also used when a word is split between two lines. The hyphen should be placed between syllables at the end of the upper line and indicates to the reader that the word will be completed on the next line. Parentheses. Parentheses allows a writer to provide additional information. The parenthetical material might be a single word, a fragment, or multiple complete sentences. Whatever the material inside the parentheses, it must not be grammatically integral to the surrounding sentences. If it is, the sentence must be recast. This is an easy mistake to avoid. Simply read your sentence without the parenthetical content. If it remains grammatically correct, the parentheses are acceptable. Dash. The dash is a punctuation mark consisting of a long horizontal line. It is similar in the appearance of hyphen and minus sign, but is longer and sometimes higher from the baseline. Slash. Many people use the slash instead of or and etc. But this is not always helpful to the reader, as slash is often used to indicate or. We also use a slash for fraction. We use slash to indicate per in measurements of speed, prices, and etc. People often use a slash in certain abbreviations, and a slash is often used in dates to separate the day, month, and year. Brackets. Brackets is always come in pairs and are used to make an aside or a point which is not part of the main flow of a sentence. If you remove the words between the brackets, the sentence should still make sense. So before I end my lesson, I can say that throughout my discussion, punctuation is really important, especially when we are conveying a message. It is important to punctuate for us to be able to understand the message we want to convey. Punctuation primarily helps to indicate the process and the emphasis on certain ideas or thoughts that are discussed in the text. It is essential to accurately use punctuation as it helps to strengthen arguments that are made. Punctuation helps to make the meaning of a text clear by linking or separating words, phrases, clauses, and sentences. Good punctuation follows the rhythms of speech, telling the reader to pause at the right points and to organize the information in the document that he or she is reading. Also, it reduces misunderstandings and makes the writing clear, or the message we want to convey more clear. A correct punctuation gives clarity when we read and also when we write.